everyone. Welcome back to Office Hours. For those of you who aren't familiar with Office Hours or with Kaedim, this is a weekly live demo and AMA that we do where you can ask us questions, and we also generate 3D models on live. And we'll also have some of our team members in the chat to help out with answering questions, but I'll try to answer all of the questions that you have. And for those who haven't heard of Kaedim, we are an AI startup specializing in turning 2D images into 3D models using AI. So that's what I'll be showing you today. So we're going to start off with a simple character. I'm going to go over here to our create page, and let's see. And here you'll be able to drag and drop images of whatever you want to generate. So I've prepared this character. Once you upload the files, the app will automatically remove the background. So any background here will be removed automatically. And we also have a new learning center here in the bottom, just helpful resources to help you get started. And after you've uploaded your images, you can go over to the generation settings. We have a button here to compare the qualities. So we have 3 qualities to choose from: standard, high, and ultra. And as you can see, the qualities have different poly count levels and level of detail. So ultra is our most accurate and detailed generation quality. If you want a base model without much detail, you can use standard. So for this character, I'm going to be using high because it's a fairly simple character, but he does have a lot of elements like the apron and the buttons. And then once you've chosen your quality, you can name your asset, set the max poly count. So what this does is it restricts the poly count of your character. So if you wanted a model that was under 30,000 polys, you can set that over here as 30,000. I don't really have a set limit that I need for this model, so I'm going to use the default for the high generation quality, which is 100,000 polygons. And then you can also set the height here. So you can change from inches to centimeters. So I'm just gonna do 5. And then once that's all set, you can then start generating. And then once you've started your generation or submitted your generation, you will be redirected back to the assets page. And you'll see that the model is now queuing, and you'll also be able to see all of the stages that it goes through before it is available for downloading. And we can also start creating another asset at this point. So you can generate multiple assets at once. So we'll go back to the create page and let me grab the input image. So here we have another 3D render of an oven. So once again, the background gets deleted automatically, and we can set the generation settings. Another thing to consider is to check out our input requirements, which is in our documentation. This is to ensure that your model gets processed properly. So we can choose a generation quality once again, and then generate that. I'll go with Ultra for this one. And lastly, you can also generate an image with Kaedim that you can then generate into 3D. So a good example could be, we've been getting a lot of questions about if Kaedim can generate from 2D sketches. So we can try generating one here. 2D sketch of a loaf of bread. So you can generate an image, and this doesn't require any credits. As long as you're on a plan, you can generate as many images as you want. So we'll wait for that. And once you have that, you have to wait a little bit for the background to be removed. If you are happy with that, you can set the generation settings, or you can regenerate an image. So we can try to regenerate again. Okay, so we can probably use this image as high. It's a fairly simple drawing, and then we can name it. The height and the max poly count are optional, so you don't really need to input anything in there if you don't have any specifications for your model. And then you can go ahead and click generate. So while we wait for those to start generating, I can show you around the assets that we've already made. So we have an asset here that has had a lot of iterations. So once you click on an asset in the assets page, you can go into the 3D Studio by clicking Open 3D Studio. There you can view your asset, your input image, the dimensions, as well as the wireframe. So for this one, I wanted to add a pillow. So I uploaded an image of a pillow here, describe the changes like add pillow on top of chair. And once I've submitted that, it then created a new version that you can see here. So you can click through all of these and create different varieties for your model. And it will all be saved under history, and you can also download them separately as well. So once that iteration was done, you can see that the pillow was added on top of the model, and that's now available for you to download. And now you also have two versions of the same asset. We also have generate LODs, so this creates different levels of detail for your model. So if we go back to the asset, we came into generate LODs here, and we can set either a value or a percentage for the target poly count, and this will lower the poly count based on which number or percentage you added here. And you can add as many LODs as needed. If you are on the LOD add-on subscription, you'll be able to use this feature without any additional credits. But if you aren't on the add-on subscription, it will be 1 credit per LOD. So here we can see that the poly count is 9,000, around 9,000. And this is the lowered poly count down to 2,000. So just a consideration, if you are lowering the poly count, this may also affect the detail of your model, and as well as the geometry. So if we compare this to the previous version, you can see that the curves for this one are a lot smoother, and the polygons are denser. So we'll wait for our assets to download. If anyone has any questions, let us know in the chat and we'll try to answer them as well. And if you want to see a better example of all the different generation qualities, we also have a showcase here. So this was generated in Ultra, this one in High, and this one in Standard. So we have a lot of different assets here, and you can also check the wireframe. And you can go back to your account by clicking go to your account. And apart from uploading images and generating one with text, you can also upload your own 3D model. And this allows you to use all of the features within Kaedim on any of the models that you have, whether or not they were made in the app. So we can go through all of the features as well in the 3D Studio. We have UV unwrap here, so this automatically unwraps the UVs for your model. You can either subscribe to the add-on or you can unwrap for 1 credit. So if we go to settings, you'll see all of the different add-ons that you can subscribe to, and these are charged monthly, and you can use them an unlimited amount of times within that month. We also have the fill color tool, which I've already used on this model, but we can showcase that. So all you have to do is select a mesh, and you can use our slider here to choose a color. We also have 6 different color effects that you can choose from. So if you want it transparent, mirror, or glossy metal. And all of these textures will be exported along with your model once you've saved. So when your asset is ready, you will get a notification here. So I'll just quickly save this, and then we can go back to our assets page. And so once your model is finished generating, you can then click on it in the assets page, and you can see under history here, see the details. So it has 61,000 polygons generated in high. You can also leave a rating after you've taken a look. So we can show the wireframe here as well. And we can compare it against the input images that we provided. And if you have orthographic views of your character like this one or your object, you can use our image projection texturing. So we can go ahead and upload the same images that we provided for the front and back view. Let me see if I can just... Okay. So I'll just use these ones because the background is already removed, and then I'll drag and drop that here. So this is for the front view, and then you can also drag and drop for the back view. And then once you have that, you can click submit. And you'll get another notification that your projection texture request has been sent. So that will be processing. So we can show you what the projection texturing looks like and how it works as well. So this is one that we used. This was the input image. So for the front view, we uploaded this image, and then for the back view, we flipped this image and uploaded that. So how projection texturing works is the image that you uploaded will wrap around your model. So it's very important to have an orthographic view like this to make sure that the texturing works correctly. We also have stylized texturing, which is better for perspective images. So if you don't have an orthographic view of your image, you can always use the stylized texturing. And it gives you a less detailed texture, but it's a great way to texture your models very fast, especially if they're lower poly assets and more of like background assets. And then we also have PBR, which has more realistic textures. So this includes the normal maps, the roughness maps, and the base color. So unlike the image projection and stylized, which are more based on the color, this also includes the depth of the texture. So this gives it a more realistic look. So our projection texturing is finished. Oh, so it looks like we have a bit of a malfunction here. It added the front view twice, so let me try and do that again. I might have uploaded the same one. Okay, front view, back view. And we can also start importing these into Blender, so I'm just going to make a new scene. And you can, while this is processing, you can go back to your original generated model and click download. So I'll download the FBX file. And then we can go back to Blender and import that model. So just like any other 3D model, you can scale this up or customize it. The meshes will also be separated, so this is really useful for customizing it to your specific needs. So if you needed to, you know, let's see what's under the hat. Oh. But yeah, if you wanted to customize it, you can go into sculpt mode and, you know, move things around a bit. And you can also set materials through here as well. So, yeah, so once that's added into your scene, you can start further editing, or you can keep editing in R3D Studio as well. Okay, let's see. Okay, looks like there's an issue with our projection texturing. So that's good to know. But essentially, the projection texturing works like this. It wraps the image that you've uploaded onto your model, and when you provide the back, it's supposed to wrap around the back as well. This might be a better example of that. So here it worked pretty well. The model was generated symmetrical, but the bag was not symmetrical, so it does have some overlay there. But all of these textures are also fully editable in any program that you use to edit your models. And this is the stylized version. This also worked pretty well for the projection texturing because it was a very flat image. And this is an example of our PBR. You can see that the roughness maps provide kind of like a higher level of detail. And you can see some of the bumps on the rust as well. And you can also share your assets using this button, and this will enable you to copy a link and share that to anyone, and they'll be able to see it in a 3D viewer. And just going through our documentation really quick, we have some good examples here of inputs to avoid and the suggested inputs. So we have one for furniture, vehicles, characters. If you want to rig your character, we recommend having them in A or T pose like this, or also submitting multiple views. So make sure that nothing is obstructing your character. Like in this pose, you can't really see his legs or the other parts. So you need to make sure that your character is in a pose like this, and having multiple objects as well. You might be able to use the ultra generation quality here, but to make sure that you get the desired outputs, we recommend having a singular character. And we also have some plugins for Omniverse, Unity, Blender, and Unreal Engine. So if you are on a studio or indie plan, you can get a key that you can input into any of these programs, and this lets you load your or import your models directly from the Kaedim plugin, so you never have to leave the app. So this is very useful if you are loading multiple assets at once, or if you're waiting to generate an asset, you won't have to, check back on the app, and you can just open the plugin and import the model when it's ready. So we also have a support section here. If you're having trouble with any of your models, or if you need more guidance using Kaedim, you can always look at our latest web app demo, our documentation, which I was just going through, and you are also able to join our Discord here. When you first sign up, we ask you for your Discord handle, and if you are part of a plan, you will be added to our Discord server, where you can chat directly with our team to help you out on any issues or questions that you have about your generations. And we also have the Learning Center here to support you as well. So while we wait for our models to generate, I'm just going to go through our older models. Here we generated a vase at 128K, and we use the generate LODs to lower the poly count to 86. And you can see that the geometry is less smooth here. And someone in the chat is asking if we can transform a character into 3D. Yes, we can. We do have a link for you to upload any input images that you have, so that we can go through generating that. Let's see if I can find the link for that. Give me 1 second. And will you be rigging this character? If you are rigging the character, we recommend having them in a T-pose like this. We can send you the link to send over the image of your character. So for this character, we were able to rig the owl, and let me see if I can show how that works. Let's see. So here we have all three of our characters, and we've rigged them as well. So once you've done that, you can go into pose mode, move them around, and with this rig you can also start animating them. So we're just gonna set so there you can see his arm is moving. And we were also able to add a rig to his beak. So there you go. And all of these characters as well have their own rigs. We generated them in the T-pose as well. Okay, let's check. So let me send you so you can submit your input images there, and we will start generating them. Or actually better, send them to yes, you can either upload your images there, or you can send them to support@kaedim3d.com. So we can also take a look at some of the materials that we have. So this makes the mesh transparent. And we can also import these into Blender to see what they look like. So I'll just color this really quick. And save. So our asset is ready. Let's refresh. So here we have the 3D model from the hand-drawn image. And you can see the wireframe here, as well as the pre-modifiers. So the pre-modifiers are there to enable you to import your models or integrate your models easier into a specific workflow. And these can be downloaded separately as well. So we have OBJ pre-modifiers here, and this is the regular model that you see here. And if you generated an image through text, you'll also see the prompt that you used over here. And we can also check the poly count. And this is the oven. So we can see the wireframe here. And you can either download through the 3D Studio, or you can download through the assets page. So I'll just do that. And you can also download multiple files at once, but all I need is the FBX. Actually, I will add some color to this and download the FBX. So you can sample from image, and this allows you to color pick directly from your image. So you just click on a color and select a mesh. So I'll just do that. And here's the inside. And then for this handle, I can use a mirror material and maybe glossy metal for these knobs. So once that's done, you can hit save. and that will save automatically. And you can download the FBX here. Okay, so now that we have all of our assets ready, we can import the rest of them into Blender. So we go here, File, Import, FBX, and then I'll just look for, so this is our colored oven. It's huge, so we'll scale it down. So let me add a light here to better show how the textures are showing up. So let's open up. And then we'll also add the bread. Which is also very big. Then we can add that in there. And I'll have a colored one as well. So we can use the fill color tool. And save that. And then we can download the FBX and go into Blender. Okay. So now we have a scene all from the models that we generated. And we can just keep adding more. And once that's done, we can render the image. So let's see how that looks. And there you go. Let me adjust the lighting. So we will be sharing all of these assets as well as the final rendered scene on our social media after the stream. So we'll share the final rendered scene on our socials. And if you want to submit any of your input images to be generated in the next stream, please add them to the drive link that we've sent, or you can send them to support@kaedim3d.com. And lastly, we also are offering an application for free credits. So if you go to our documentation, you can click this link to apply, or you can also get a product tour where we can discuss your specific use cases and help you through the app to see which features would help you best. But otherwise, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. We will be sending out links for you to view these assets in the 3D viewer. And